They're trying to hide it from you. That as once again we return to the VTuber agency Nijisanji English, the subject of our last video, which had involved one of their former talents, Reimu Endo, having since graduated from the agency 2 months ago. Now returning to her past life account, Mari. That as Mari had been called out by Bari, an independent VTuber, and former romantic partner of Nijisanji English's Ike Eveland. Bari on Twitter releasing a video with accusations against Mari. Mari then, less than 7.5 hours later, releasing a 14-page Google document in reply. Bari then replying to Mari with her own Google document, deleting that document, and then 6 hours after the publishing of our last video, releasing one final Google document. This document showing potential evidence of a Nijisanji English liver not only engaging in misconduct with a fan, but further potential evidence that Nijisanji English was fully aware of both bullying and doxing occurring between Nijisanji livers. So once again, we have an explosive document, this having been released by Bari, stating, "I want to sincerely apologize for frequently deleting my tweets. I understand how this might appear from an outsider's perspective, especially when discussing serious issues. Thank you for giving me the space to make mistakes and learn from them. Here's my final response." This response being published at 3:09 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Time on a Saturday morning, and having since been removed by Google Docs. That link leading to this saying, "We're sorry, you can't access this item because it is in violation of our terms of service." This document being taken down within around 8 hours in the early morning hours of Saturday, meaning still days later, very few have first-hand knowledge of what exactly was in this document, and also reflecting the actions seen against the document regarding Luca Kaneshiro from 2024. Yet another Google document concerning a Nijisanji English liver and being removed due to quote-unquote violations of terms of service. That is today, we actually do have this document on hand. Bari within the document alleging that Mari had actually sent her a cease and desist, and this document not only confirming interpersonal relationships between Nijisanji English livers, but perhaps more seriously, misconduct on the part of a Nijisanji English liver toward one of their fans, and far beyond that, potential confirmation of a Nijisanji English liver speaking to Niji EN management about bullying and doxing, those actions coming by way of other Niji EN livers. This Google document by way of Bari beginning with, "Thank you for your patience," and reading yet another document. "I know I've gone back and forth quite a bit, and I'm really sorry. This has been a nerve-wracking time, and I acted impulsively rather than speaking on what truly mattered. Thank you again for your patience." Bari then stating, "There seems to be confusion about consent. I got permission from my former partner." So Bari at this time stating they have permission and consent by way of Ike Eveland, and in the consideration, many of these screenshots were only available originally to Ike, could lead credence to this statement by way of Bari. Bari in her original Google document confirming she had known Ike before Nijisanji. This all while Bari would confirm she knew Mari before Nijisanji, saying, "I met Mari in 2017 prior to dating my former partner, Ike. We worked on a song project together and were Twitter mutuals under my previous alias, Ren. We already knew each other as acquaintances before everything took place," then linking to a Mari group cover dated from February 15th of 2017. Bari saying further, "My former partner had a friend who developed an unhealthy attachment toward him, which subsequently created a toxic dynamic and led to his exclusion from multiple social gatherings while she was in the process of healing from a prior relationship. My former partner was a very kind and supportive friend to everyone. Mari often turned to him for dating advice. She frequently had vent sessions with him about her insecurities and issues she encountered while speaking about anonymous websites." This beginning a number of quote-unquote censored screenshots that are readily color-coded, giving us clear indications as to which Nijisanji EN liver is actually being referred to or is speaking. This conversation occurring between Ike and Mari, who at the time was still Reimu. Reimu taking this time to open up to Ike about her romantic relationship to Vox Akuma, saying to Ike, "So one day we were working in his studio, and she called him." Ike responding, "Vox's fan base." Reimu responding to Ike, "And he was in the bathroom, so I cut the call, Lamau. And when I did, I kind of ended up reading the first page of their conversation." This conversation occurring between Vox and a fan. Reimu seeing this conversation between the fan and Vox and remarking, "I noticed they legitimately call like every 2 days. For like, not exaggerating Ike, like for 8 hours. And she sent him a effing bikini picture." So once again, Vox Akuma receiving a bikini picture from one of his fans while in a relationship with Reimu, and Vox continuing this conversation with the fan for extended periods of time. Reimu saying to Ike, after seeing this conversation, I left the room and didn't say anything. 1, I was jealous. 2, I couldn't concentrate. 3, I was scared if I stayed, I'd just want to scroll up and read more. Ike saying to Vox, that's highly inappropriate in my personal opinion. On their part, I mean. Reimu continuing to open up to Ike about this, saying, so I just went to another room and worked. Then we had a talk in the bathtub, and I told him, Vox, how uncomfortable she made me, and how I wanted him to at least make some boundaries. Like I made clear I didn't want him to cut her off, because the least I wanted is to limit his friendships and seem like those annoying, jealous, controlling girlfriends. This all as, once again, Mari in her Google document did include a number of screenshots regarding Bari, with the angling that Bari was simply a jealous girlfriend. Reimu continuing to talk to Ike about Vox and this fan/artist, saying, at least just treat her as an artist you're commissioning, because that's what he wanted to do, supposedly. Then some days went by, and I was drunk, and I was chilling, sitting behind him, and I noticed they were talking again, and because I was drunk, I got emotional, and that's when we fought. He strangely got, really defensive, and I had to clear out, no joke, 4 times in the conversation. Quote unquote, I wasn't blaming him, and quote unquote, it wasn't his fault, and all I wanted were boundaries, and he kept saying he couldn't cut her off, because he was scared of what she'd do if he did, and he just didn't know what to do. So every time I'd ask him, so what I get from this is nothing will happen, and I just need to get used to her then, he'd get angry. Once again, in review, Vox Akuma saying to his then romantic partner, Reimu Endo, that he can't cut off this fan because he's scared as to what the fan will do. Reimu saying of Vox, I felt he was slowly shifting the conversations towards me being that annoying, jealous girlfriend. And I felt really bad, to the point that I felt like I was the bad guy, and I shouldn't be talking about it again. So it ended with him apologizing and me apologizing as well, and he said he'd try to set boundaries. Reimu adding further here later, at some point I did trust him, but then the way she acts makes me not trust her. At some point, he did tell me that she just casually asked one day, saying, oh, I was reading that docs page, and they're talking a lot about Reimu. Are you guys dating? Vox replying to this fan with, effing ooh, no Lamau. So once again, this fan opening up to Vox that they actively look at docs pages as regards to him and Nijisanji livers, and then point blank asking if he was in a relationship with Reimu Endo, him denying that when he was in a relationship, and yet continuing this conversation on with this fan. Reimu saying to Vox about his reply to the fan, I told him I didn't like it, and he said it was just for acting. And apparently, she looks at 4chan and that doc site all the time and brings that to Vox. I just don't like her. Reimu then revealing this at one point of the conversation. I did tell him, what if she just randomly sends you a nude or, I don't know, a picture in underwear or a bikini? I didn't tell him I knew she had sent it, that being a picture of her in a bikini. And he, that being Vox, said, oh no, if that happens, I just cut it off right there. This once again being despite Vox having already received a photo like that. Reimu saying to Ike, that answer made me so sad. Ike replying, yeah, that complicates things a lot. And Reimu saying back, I kept trying to make him understand the kind of power he had in this sort of situation. Vox Akuma at this time in 2022 being one of the biggest VTubers on the planet, and yet seemingly unable to stop a conversation with a fan. Ike replying further, having a female friend is fine. Hell, even talking to them a lot is fine, even if I think it's a bit strange to be calling for that long with someone you're not romantically interested in. Reimu elaborating to Ike, that girl is a fan and she's in love with him. And he kept saying, oh, I swear I never knew she liked me. And then at another part of the conversation, he said, oh, I've actually turned her down twice. Ike remarking about that, that's contradicting statements. Reimu repeating, he kept saying he was scared of cutting her off, so it just ended with, quote unquote, try to make boundaries. Ike replying further, I think boundaries is reasonable. It's just I personally would never engage this much with a fan. So one last time in review, Vox Akuma in a conversation with a fan who had confessed to him twice, and then continuing on with multiple conversations with this fan to come later. Or saying of Ike, my former partner and I never had problems when it came to female friends. I've always been open about my interactions with women and have even drawn fan art, something I did because I wanted to celebrate different dynamics. I traveled to Japan to watch them perform. I've bought merchandise from many of the girls. I've slept over at another Niji En liver's house. I've even had collabs with mutual female friends. However, it is important to note that I stopped drawing after one of her fans attacked my thumbnail art unprovoked. This supposedly being one of Reimu's fans. Ari saying, I stopped because of insecurity about my art, but not my relationship. Ike saying further about this relationship between the fan and Vox, it just feels wrong. There's such a big power imbalance. Reimu adding, and he kept saying he did because, quote, he had no one by his side when our drama happened and he had no one to vent. This relating to an incident that at the time of these screenshots was just months before. Reimu Indo being the target of numerous fans of Vox Akuma after one day entering into his chat and then also DMing him on Discord. Vox at the time then putting his foot down and saying we are not dating to his fan base, only then 2 days later walk that back. Once again, Vox saying he had no one by his side when our drama happened and he had no one to vent. Reimu saying back, I told him, yeah, he did. He had friends, man. He had you, that being Ike. And he was like, yeah, but I felt everyone was by your side, like on your team, including Ike. Ike saying back to this, I was on no one's side. All I told him is that I was disappointed in how he handled the fallout. Reimu remarking, she was a fan no matter what he did. She'd quote unquote always be by your side, and that's not how actual friends act. We don't go to 4chan and the doc site and keep feeding him S. At the first talk, I just told him I'd wish he had not vented with her out of all people. Ike responding to Reimu with, but what's done is done. We can only hope he holds true to his promise about boundaries. We have other screenshots between Reimu and Ike. Reimu here saying, met your GF, that being Ike's girlfriend, Bari, alongside other Nijisanji livers, or including this conversation between her and Mari. Mari months later describing how uncomfortable she was with this fan of Vox, saying of this fan, she cosplays as Vox, but then it's so obvious that she self-inserts with Vox in her fan art. At first, I thought it was crazy. Then I'd see her super horny super chats. Then I'd see him use her thumbnails. Then I'd see him like her tweets only. Then I'd see him replying only to her. TVS confirming there is a fan/artist account that does match all of this criteria from around this time frame. Mari replying to Mari simply with Vox skull emoji. Mari adding, then I'd see his talking to her on Discord. Mari remarking it appeared that this was the same person she had briefly vented to my former partner about. She once mentioned blocking them on her company account and brought them up again a year later in conversation. She admitted going through her ex's Discord messages by way of DM and my DM. So once again, we have potential evidence of misconduct on the part of Vox Akuma toward a fan. But later in, we have far greater and more dire implications toward Nijisanji and the agency itself. Mari saying at in-person events, I observed Mari behaving in a flirtatious manner toward my former partner, Ike, including an incident where she threw herself onto him with enough force to nearly topple a chair, witnessed by multiple people. I was also informed that she made a personal confession to him. I privately expressed my discomfort to Mari via messages and a call with 2 others. She claimed not to recall the incident due to alcohol consumption, but agreed to stop creating quote-unquote shipping content involving him from May 1st of 2023, and I believe the matter was resolved at that time. Mari further here saying the screenshots Mari provided in her document were cut to show a different narrative. My former partner confronted her about her actions, which you can see in the screenshots below. So once again, we are returning to this screenshot. Ike in this conversation with Reimu saying to Reimu during that dinner, I don't know if it was before or after when you snapped at me, you also sort of threw yourself at me and clung on to me. It made me very uncomfortable and also came across as rather disrespectful as it was right in front of my significant other as well. I know you apologized for the snapping thing, but I feel a bit mixed about the apology as I remember it was more of a, oh, it's because I broke up with Vox, as opposed to, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. On top of this, the more I think about it, the more things come to mind that just make me rather uncomfortable in hindsight. For example, I've noticed an influx of Reimu cross Ike art being liked and retweeted by you, which has made me rather uncomfortable due to the previous incident. I usually just turned a blind eye to ship art, as it's usually not something that we as livers retweet, but when it gets brought up onto my timeline by people I follow, it becomes a bit difficult to overlook. Mari also in her document, not including all of this from Ike, explaining what he was uncomfortable about. Mari also showing what else had not been in Mari's document. Ike saying to Mari, still Reimu, at this time, you were somewhat drunk if I recall correctly, but I vividly remember how it happened. I even pulled away to the point where I was sliding off my chair. You can ask others that were there if the account doesn't seem to add up. As for Ren, I don't know how she feels about the ordeal. This is just my feelings on the matter. I can ask. Reimu responding to this, I see, I'm so sorry I made you feel uncomfortable. It didn't even cross my mind, even after I sobered up. I'm so sorry. I don't remember ever having weird intentions toward you or Ren, and I thought it was just me being dumb and laughing. I'm sorry I crossed your boundaries in space. Once again, again, Reimu/Mari, confirming it did not cross her mind even after she had sobered up. Mari in her screenshots also not including this portion where she said, "I'm so sorry, Ike, I'll do better," alongside, "Don't ever hesitate to tell me if I F up again." Reimu/Mari at this time seemingly taking ownership of what had made Ike uncomfortable. In Mari's document, she had stated as in regards to past friends of the two, past friends who knew more about her past actions, and they as well haven't talked with her over 3 years, mainly due to discomfort and fear. Mari responding to this with, "This was never communicated to me. I'm unsure what past actions or friends this references. If you'd like to discuss these claims, could you please clarify which past actions you're referring to? I want to understand fully and take responsibility where it's due. I received a cease and desist letter after noticing that her screenshots left out key context regarding her involvement. This being elaborated further later on, Mari remarking that she had received a cease and desist letter from Mari. Quoting it here, immediately cease and desist from publishing, reposting, or otherwise communicating any further false, misleading, or defamatory statements concerning our client. This is a direct quote from the cease and desist letter I have received. Mari saying after we set boundaries with Mari, we noticed that we, that being Mari and Ike, were increasingly excluded from events and ignored without explanation. My former partner later spoke with our mutual friend as it became evident that Mari seemed to be allowing her breakup with her ex to negatively affect both the friendship and the group's work dynamic. Additionally, she once even suggested we leave her ex out during a trip. Reimu/Mari saying, I'm sorry, you'll have to see Vox. If he ends up hanging out with you and Ike, please take Ike on a date. Ditch Vox. This after Mari in her own document saying none of my past relationships have ended quote unquote poorly. Few I've been in the past have ended with two adults mutually agreeing to stop dating and communication slowly decreasing for obvious reasons. And now we have potentially the most damning part of this document as in regards to Nijisanji English's relationship with their livers and what responsibilities they take as an agency, thereby propelling this document beyond just interpersonal relationships and potential misconduct with a fan into far more important territory. Mari saying, my former partner talked to a manager in response to being around his bullies during recordings. Ike saying to this Nijisanji EN manager, can I talk to you? It's important. It's regarding the blank with Shu. Many of you are surmising this is potentially in regards to Shu Yamino's 3D reveal. Members of blank are paired up with guests at the blank. I'm paired up with my bullies. Can I please switch? I didn't see it on the script until now. If it's too late, I'll just try to tough it out. I am so sorry for the inconvenience. All the screenshots so far regarding Ike Eveland being backed up not only by his former romantic partner, but also Reimu/Mari, and therefore leading to the potential validity of these screenshots between Ike and a manager, Ike telling this Niji EN manager that he has bullies within Niji EN. This manager responding simply with, okay, I will talk to Shu and Vox in person. Ike responding, thank you, I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry once again for causing trouble. The manager responding, no problem at all. Shu said he is okay with swapping, that likely being with Sonny Briscoe. And you, Ike remarking, okay, thank you both, I'm so grateful. Minutes later, this manager responding, please join the voice chat so that we can do mic check. And Ike asking, is it required? I'd rather not speak to them. I am afraid. The manager simply replying with yes, as in, yes, it is required. Ike then saying, okay, in the future, I never wish to be associated with them. They doxed me. And this manager simply replying with, understood. That's it, understood. No other indications given that Nijisanji EN management had taken action on any of these claims by way of Ike Eveland. We're here now with a screenshot between Ike and another Nijisanji EN liver. Numerous viewers surmising this was Millie Parfait. Mari saying, my former partner was also excluded from Millie's event held on April 19th of 2024. And yes, that would have lined up with Millie Parfait's 3D reveal. Mari saying he was live tweeting throughout the event and discovered that he wasn't included in the first 4 waves of participants featured during Millie's live watch. This coincides with his live tweets he found out by watching the live recording alongside TL. Ike on July 14th reaching out to Millie with, so am I getting added to the group chat or are we just doing this over DM? Or did something come up? Let me know. Not receiving a response for 11 days and then checking back in with Millie saying, hey, so what's going on? I haven't heard anything from you, but I keep hearing about all these plans from other people that are coming here. Millie responding with, gonna make one now. Sorry, we don't have a general chat, but everything is just being planned on Hangouts whenever we can. Ike responding, really? Others have told me there is one. Did they lie? Ike further going on to question Millie's response to that chat alongside, "Isn't it odd how this is the second time something like this happens where I am strangely excluded from group chats? I don't think I'm asking a difficult question here. Would it be all right if I asked for an answer?" Millie responding, "First of all, please let me know if I'm getting this the wrong way. But the way you talk right now is a little passive aggressive." This leading to a prolonged back and forth between Ike and Millie. Ike lastly saying, "I do think I'm bringing up valid points, and it's a little bit disappointing that you're resorting to attacking me in return with terms such as passive-aggressive." Millie earlier saying to Ike, "We at the time didn't know that you were also not on good terms with Vox." Ike pressing further against Millie, saying, "And this is just circumstantial evidence, mind you, but it wouldn't be the first time that you guys have excluded someone. I know for a fact that you did the very same thing to Nina, and when she asked about it, you told her that it was all in her head, to her face, only to later admit to her that you did in fact exclude her. That does hurt your credibility somewhat." This going back to the fourth member of Etheria, being Nina Kosaka, having during a stream related to Albin Knox that she had been excluded by her wave mates, those being Millie Parfait and Eloette, and yes, Reimu Endo, now Mari. Mari saying, "My former partner confided in his coworkers about the exclusion from collabs, events, and constant ghosting of messages. The harassment and exclusion from collaborations and professional opportunities were repeatedly dismissed by all parties as mere relationship drama and report to staff." Mari then going on to revisit this subject, Mari has been caught bookmarking archiving sites in the past, showing off this slightly edited and cropped screenshot. The screenshot having been around for quite a while, showing Reimu in a call with Nina and potentially her browser being shown on screen alongside not one but two links to Imageboards, alongside also linking back to the Twitch page of her past life account. Or saying even though 4chan is an anonymous website, the posts were sharing sensitive information that was not public knowledge. For clarity, these 4chan posts contain information that only a select few would know, including details about my relationship with my former partner and my friendships with mutual acquaintances. These 4chan posts were found specifically referencing the boundary my former partner and I set with her in 2023. I also only opened up to specifically her wave about my audition because at the time they were my friends. So once again, Bari having actually at the time applied to Nijisanji English and revealing this only to those that were just mentioned earlier, Millie, Enna, Reimu, and Nina, the four members of Etheria. Supposedly only they, alongside Ike, would know about Bari auditioning to Nijisanji. Bari saying further, "I was only made aware of these 4chan posts because Mari had previously vented to my former partner about her insecurities within her relationship dynamic, highlighting 4chan. This being said, how would anyone know that I was in a relationship with a bigger streamer if they didn't know who I was?" Again, Bari being a smaller indie VTuber who had helped Ike on assets for his debut alongside emotes after debut, but who otherwise was in no way saying they were in a relationship with Ike Eveland. These comments remarking community is full of petty drama, people dating, girls acting like cats, guys grooming. Bari falls in the petty cat girl dating people and being a B to lots of girls. Bari is also a C, LOL. She's known for being explosive with girls before even meeting Ike. Another comment saying, "Sorry, Bari. Good luck with your current Nijisanji audition. Next time, don't tweet about it and delete it fast." Another commenter saying, "Stop shitposting about Ike. He's going to have another meltdown on Twitter and ask to stop making him stay at someone else's shadow. And he'll lash out at his own fans while having his girlfriend, Bari, lose her S in private again." Bari saying this was a recurring pattern in which the post would resurface whenever I was in contact with our mutual acquaintances in person. I also want to point out the word Menhera. I noticed the pattern of her labeling women as Menhera, then showing this screenshot from one of Reimu's out accounts, this supposedly being seen by Nijisanji management, in which Reimu had tweeted out, "Why is Ike's girlfriend such a weird Menhera? Holy Lamau." Once again, this is a Nijisanji liver tweeting out about another Nijisanji liver's girlfriend and calling her weird Minhara. We're going a little bit back in time here and showing this screenshot between Reimu and Ike. This once again going back to that fan of Vox's that Vox's apparently could not cut off. Reimu saying, "I became jealous because there's this artist who talks a lot on Discord. And in the first talk, he told me when our drama happened, he felt everyone was on my side, including you, and he had no one. So he literally vented to her, his fan, and they became friends. Ike reacting, also, they weren't friends before Niji. Reimu responding, no. Ike responding to that information with, oof, that's a yeah. And Reimu continuing on, and it got to the point he felt quote-unquote uncomfortable because she is kind of menhera and attention-seeking, and she obviously likes him, Lamau. Reimu once again using that terminology, seen not only in her out-account tweet, but used within Imageboards and potentially implicating her as one of the authors of origin of those messages regarding Bari. Bari continuing on with this accusation, saying, my former partner and I both supported her whenever she sought relationship advice, often alongside our mutual friends or in DM, which made experiencing something like this in turn all the more heartbreaking. One user on this image board saying, Bari's crazy GF. She's trying to get into Niji right now. I hope she gets in and gets Menhera episodes with any girl that gets close to Ike on and off stream. Another post saying, this girl had so much drama in the Utate community as well. I think she's been friends with Ina and Millie for a while now, but they just kind of ignore her because Menhera. Bari adding, suddenly again in 2025, my name was mentioned on 4chan with D threats. It was strange because the date of these posts correlate to the fact that she's been taken off a sponsorship around this time. After these 4chan posts were found, no more mentions of Bari were happening, so I had hoped that this was the extent of the doxing. Bari qualifying this as talking about my private relationships and friends. This not lining up with the classical definition of doxing, that of course being a revelation of someone's IRL face, name, identity, or location. This being of course a particular sticking point for many looking into this document and looking for proof of quote-unquote doxing, and this simply not meeting that criteria. That said, someone on Bari's birthday of April 14th decided to simply keep on saying KYS to Bari, this once again simply being an indie VTuber, and yet receiving this much attention. Bari ending the document with reflecting on these memories has been both painful and bittersweet. I acknowledge my own insecurities, but I've never been an overly possessive or controlling partner to the point of malice. I've always been very vocal in my support for his friends and have constantly given back to the community I'm in. If my actions have ever caused discomfort, I wish that had been communicated so I could have responded with a sincere apology and great respect. I did not know anyone from our mutual past felt that way. Despite several attempts to seek understanding through messages and conversations, my former partner and I struggled to find resolution and resorted to going to staff over the course of years of documenting constant harassment, exclusion, and action. As evidenced in our communications, when I raised concerns about her behavior and attempts to discuss the harassment, she dismissed my concerns, characterizing me as jealous and insecure, even after all the talks and meeting me multiple times in person, receiving gifts and fan art from me. This next section being very accusatory. Bari saying during the same period she was discussing on anonymous websites and DM, monitoring fans and reviewing her ex-partner's messages with said fans without consent. After her response to my initial video, she sent me a cease and desist letter. I'm not asking or encouraging anyone to harass or retaliate against Mari or her former employer. The information shared in this statement reflects my personal experiences, perceptions, and understanding of the events as they unfolded. Thank you for your time. So at this time, Bari potentially not lining up the criteria expected for the doxing accusations, and yet in the same process also revealing potential misconduct by Vox Akuma in regards to a fan, and even more seriously, confirmation by Bari that quote, harassment, exclusion, and inaction had been reported to Nijisanji EN management. Screenshots within this document showing Ike directly alleging this to management, and yet seemingly no action from the outside looking in being taken, leading to this document to potentially being of even greater import than originally expected. Nijisanji fans going on to also report this document and being overjoyed that it had been removed, even remarking that this document was a form of doxing. That once again not lining up with the classical definition of doxing. Nijisanji fans on Twitter, Reddit, and other social media in the past days attempting to bury this document and what it had potentially revealed as regards to Nijisanji EN proper, instead calling it a nothing burger, and that it should have been kept to DMs, despite once again illustrating grander issues with the actual agency itself and the agency's continued inaction. As now moving on, we have even more things VTuber say by way of our co-host, Lae-Dee.
Thanks, False. Just as Silly Whale Girl Bao releases their latest cover of Free from K-pop Demon Hunters featuring Johnny Ray. That as they also debut a brand new model, asking you if you're ready to rock. With Bao's new model design coming from Maddie and live 2D rigging done by Twin Tails. That as Bao also releases a jewelry collection in collaboration with Bisou Lovely. Your demon queen Satan wishes you a happy Halloween with a new model debut. And this new model design, meaning a new IRL skin with moe flavor. Iron Mouse can also be seen as Hiro from Good Kids Wall music video alongside Lily Pichu, Damian Haas, and Sea-Dog VA. As both Sea-Dog and Iron Mouse open up their first ever collab cafe at Akihabara, with the event ongoing from October 30th to November 30th. Making the world smile with their orange energy, Oren-chan hosts their biggest announcement ever in their 5 years as a VTuber. That being the celebration of their marriage to Benizono Krim. Posting, "We are deeply moved that two people who would never have met in ordinary life found each other through the VTuber culture and married. We sincerely ask for your continued support of Oren-chan and Krim-chan." Aussie cryptid VTuber Emma Lama demands that this October you serve her or else. Revealing their design of their Revenant Lord model, with the model art and design shown here, alongside the live 2D rigging done by Artifact Fish. That as this new Revenant Lord celebrates their Halloween model debut, partnering with Mosu Box, bringing in new merch, but also their first ever full-body mousepad. Cyber and Dragon VTuber Zentrea returned to streaming with a Cyber Dragon model at the end of September, with this live 2D model showcase done by Puppetworks, with the model design done by Onikanze. Though that's not all, as Dungeon Master Zentrea pulls up for a Shocktober Halloween outfit debut. With this 3D outfit done by Mari, this new model marks a horror all month long. 1930s cartoon Pumpkin Potion gets ready to celebrate the spooky season as they infiltrate from pencil to pandemonium, introducing their brand new form in collaboration with U2's for their very own figurine. LewDtuber Project Melody teases a peek of their brand new model, wishing you all a happy mall goth indie debut, launching a collaboration with Agent Inc. for new merch apparel alongside the launch of their Project Melody Glitch Baby plushie. With the plushie having now been fully funded, Yusan releases their K-pop Demon Hunters rock cover of How It's Done alongside Numi and Michi Motivi, with the illustration and artwork for this cover done by Crescent, along with a clear preview of the outfit design. As Yusan asks, "Are you well carb loaded?" Wonder Riku releases an announcement for the Music Box of Fate, a community charity single, including 14 VTubers and streamers, 89-piece Iron Mouse fan choir, the entire VTuber Symphony and choir, for a total team of 149 people, all to raise money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Lava Lamp Mantis, Ava Lamp, opens up auditions and applications for Frostbeat Festival, with this VTuber concert opening for their streaming anniversary, taking place in January. That as this month, for the Halloween season, Ava is hosting a Halloween Spooktacular featuring over 35 plus spooky VTuber performances, 4 group songs, all in one rocking Halloween night. Queen of the Stars, Petri, also creator of the Small VTuber Awards, opens nominations for the Hidden Gem Small VTuber Award this month in October, open to all VTubers with under 100 CCV and 10,000 followers, and self-nominations are encouraged. That is reminding you that there is less than 1 week left until nominations are fully closed. Vexoria the Sun Eater announces their surprise as their voice is featured with the character titled Milady from Honor of Kings, while also announcing the full cast for their charity stream for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation starting October 28th, with the help of Papa Mutt, Spide Grimmy, and Project Melody, as they save lives with a horror D&D adventure by DNP. That while also including the cameos of over 80 creators and VTubers that will be highlighted during the stream. Lich VTuber Fruit debuts a brand new look for this spoopy Halloween season, being a VTuber psycho and detective, with the model art and design done by Nii and live 2D rigging done by Yunabuna. That as Fruit encourages you to change your mindset, they are fully ready to be human for Halloween this year. Vessel of the ancient Lord Shoto is finally debuting their new outfit. Hosting so much work time and preparation has went into this one, and I'm super excited to share it with you all, so please come by and take a look. That being the Lae-Dee showcase for their updated model, shown here, with this thrilling design done by Hayama Fair, alongside the release of a new cover from Shota, that being Raw Dog by Flavor Folly. Fictional character Gone VTuber Lucia debuts a brand new steamy model for this Halloween season, that being their succubus form, with their new design coming from Kumane, with the Lae-Dee rigging coming from Jelly Slime, but model illustration coming from Hayate Fish. That while also promoting themselves as a potential nominee for the Rising Star Award. Space Cat Skew-chan unleashes a new form, that being their plushable and puntable form, now available on Makeship, available for pre-order and funding until November 9th. Though that's not all, as Skew-chan announces their Space Cat debut is imminent, going forth and being reborn, with this adorably expressive model, alongside the promotion of new merch, with updated animated emotes and Twitch panels. Uzurumiya, Moon Bunny, and Otaku is ready for the Halloween season, while also releasing a brand new song cover, that being Lithonia by Childish Gambino, this being their first ever published cover, to also celebrate their 7th streamer anniversary. Baker Idol VTuber Mint Mai wishes you a good Mint Mai morning, officially announcing that they will be moving to YouTube, hosting after my 3-year anniversary stream. I will no longer multi-stream to Twitch. I hope Flower friends can be excited with me for this step in my journey. Meet Bunny Pada announces their VTuber concert for the spooky season, including over 17 different VTubers, 3D DJs to celebrate a happy Halloween, showcasing a few of the VTubers participating in the lineup for the concert here. A school-based VTuber idol group, Katabasis, introduces themselves as your new classmates, already hosting a VTuber concert at the beginning of their idol journey, with their fundraising concert in just 4 days already reaching over $18,000, that being 450% of their original goal. As the girls would go out to post, "Thank you for believing in us, and this is only just the beginning," further thanking everyone for helping them turn their dreams into a reality. As for this co-host, as we continue our streaming, highlighting a collaboration with Bonnie Barkswell coming up October 29th, continuing with our journey of the ups and downs of reaching partner, to which I invite, if you like nuts, come say hi. That's all from me, and now back to you, False.
Thank you, Lae-Dee. And further on, of course, we have Beyond the Veil, a new anime and webcomic universe starring mythic talent creators, including yours truly. Check it out with the link below and take advantage of the limited time 50% off offer. As all the while, we also have a Gamer Subs Cup for Beyond the Veil, now available for pre-order, alongside limited time apparel. This all once again available only for a limited time. Check it out with the links below. Thank you again to our fans for interest in our global and North American unions of Goddess of Victory Nikke. We do currently have open slots on both of our unions. Join us on our global union at 47747. Once again, that's 47747. And on our North American union at 29661. Again, that's 29661. As that is all for this episode, as always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. Send in your VTuber news to our Discord, as we'll have more things VTubers say for you soon.